Hello group. As requested, I brought Grace back for another video. So this week we're into block 6, Methods of Instruction, and we had to read chapter 5 of our book this week. So once again there's some key questions posed within the reading, and then even from the reading I found this week here the readings were helpful for myself because I'm also taking another class, 40-45 Train the Trainer, where I need to develop a class to teach. So for me, selecting methods seemed like a very important chapter to be looking at. I liked how Cratton mentions right away 4 considerations that are important: the content, or the type of learning, the characteristics of the students, our own preference or style as a teacher, and the context. That's right on the very first page that's mentioned, and a lot of that stuff is brought up again and again. So within the reading there are a lot of different examples about what types of methods and why you would choose them. And I found that it is interesting, just even on the second page is noted, it's not necessary to choose a lecture simply because the class is large any more than it's necessary to use computers because the computer lab is next door. And I kind of wonder sometimes if certain subjects get characterized or certain people just get stuck using certain techniques because that's the way it's always been done, which isn't really the case. It doesn't need to be that way. So as we explore the chapter, I would just like to have you guys bring up maybe methods you used and problems you've encountered with these methods, or methods that you've been a part of and you like. Like for example, on page 114 talks about peer teaching, and it says sometimes students may be better able to explain things to each other as they are closer to each other in experience with the subject than is the instructor. For that one there, I think about this online course, how a lot of times within the postings you'll notice someone will say something and then it just kind of resonates with someone else and goes on and on and on, which is terrific. And so maybe that works for some of you, and some of you may not like that style. And also it gets into, like I said, all the different methods, and there's a lot of them that a lot of times I didn't even realize all it went into developing a course until I looked at this chapter here and I noticed how many different methods and techniques you can use. And there's a good chart that explains all the different paragraphs kind of one page, which I like to see. So perhaps you guys can just share which methods you like, you participated in, because it does mention how people tend to be more comfortable with familiar teaching methods from their past educational experience, which I know in the past, actually in almost every online class I've had, we talk about online learning as opposed to traditional learning, where everyone has had experience with the traditional classroom format and we haven't had as much with the online learning. So, and that's about it. I don't mean to duplicate kind of what Amanda's already written for questions to pose. I just kind of like to get your guys' take on things from what you've read this week. Thanks.